Hey guys, my name is Death and welcome to AutoCraft. I'm finally back from my long break. This break was longer than I had originally planned. I spent most of it basically doing nothing, playing games, and I wasn't very productive. But now we're back. So, today I'd like to continue working on our industrial district because we still have a lot of work to do before we can class that project as finished. So arriving over here at the industrial district, you can see we still have a lot of work to do. We're still left with only a hole in the ground leading down to our slime farm, along with the auto crop farms we made last episode. Today we're going to be expanding this hole, decorating it, and getting the super chunk almost finished. So to get started, we're going to clear the forest and mark out the area we're going to be excavating. These 4 sections will be used for farms in the future. We'll then take all these areas down to right above where we built the farms last time. So next up, we decorate the farm areas and we remove the cactus farm. Don't worry, we'll be rebuilding this later on. And then we repeat this on the other side. And finally, we work on our storage room at the top of the super chunk. So to recap real quick, we've cleared a bunch of space, we've decorated the farm area, and we've built our storage room. But there's more. We've also went and reinstalled our cactus farm, and we had enough space to expand it a little bit. Now we need to integrate this into our storage system up top. So integrating this farm into the storage system should be relatively straightforward. Obviously we need to deal with the item stream, which is outputted at the bottom of the farm, and we need to deal with the storage system up top. Now I've already taken a liberty of populating each of these storage silos with chests and hoppers along with item filters up top. The item filters don't have any items in them yet, but that is a straightforward thing to do. We also need to implement the actual status indicator on the storage silo, which should just be a case of making use of some redstone. So if you remember back to last episode, we have these item streams coming off of these crop farms, and we also have another item stream which is the handle of our slime, and it should be right below this chest. Having everything separate isn't a good idea, so we need to merge all of these lines and then we need to find a way to send it all up to the storage system up above. So what I'm thinking is we make use of one of these corners here. We've got plenty of space to bring an item elevator all the way up, then we align the items to maybe this wall here, and then we should be able to filter everything into the necessary storage silos. So after a tiny bit of work, we now have our items feeding into our storage system. So for the purposes of this segment, I've decided to pop into FreeCam so I can show this off. So we have our items coming through and ringing around the system up top. You can see we've still got some items coming through at the end here. These items are actually meant to be filtered out here, but as you can currently see, the hopper lines can't currently cope, so we'd have to expand them a little bit. Obviously you all know how item filters work, so all we'd really need to do here is maybe add an extra hopper on either side for some extra items. Now if we follow this water elevator down, our water system down here is quite simple. So all we did was we created a ring of water ice paths that connected up to the crop farms. We had another line for the slime coming in here, and this line hooks up to the crop farm and the cactus farm. The cactus farm itself was a bit of an awkward one because we only had a very small amount of space to fit in this item transportation line. In fact, you'll be able to see the ice path on the roof of this farm, but that shouldn't really impact the way this farm works. So the items simply come over here, drop down this chute, and then they connect up to the main item stream. And there we have it. All of the farms we've built up until now have been connected to our storage room. I've also taken a liberty of planning out a few of the other farms we're going to be putting in this area by allocating certain items to these storage silos. Most of them are crops, to get a few like of stone and cobblestone, and then there's a few other items dotted around. We'll be getting to these in future episodes. So I heard a rumour that there's been some stuff going on over at the shopping district. So arriving at the shopping district, I know we need to come over here towards the jungle because Boss has made a Halloween themed shop. Is this a shop or is that a game? I think this is more of a game. Let's head inside. So this is Trick or Treat. 5 diamonds per button press. Oh, okay, right. So this is like a randomised like gambling thing, I guess. Okay, let's get 15 diamonds. We'll do this 3 times. In fact, no. Let's make it 4. Okay, so we now have the 4 shulkers from the Trick or Treat game. Now, I've been informed by Boss that there's a few goodies in these. There's also a few things that couldn't necessarily be considered as good. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so let's take a look at these. So we've got 10 diamond ore. Oh, that's super nice. A bunch of moss. Oh, I'm going to need these for my, my glowberry farm I'm going to do. And last but not least, this stuff. Prismarine. In fact, you know what? Let's go and play a bunch more. Let me go and get a few extra diamonds, pay these stuff we've already done, and we'll see if we can get any more luck. So I decided to go ahead and get another 4 of these, so let's see, sticks. Oh, 64 blocks of copper. I don't currently have a use for this, but that is going to save me some time later on if I decide to do a copper build. Some basalt, and last but not least, some blocks of amethyst. This will probably be useful. So yeah, that was a fun game. If Boss, you're watching this, I hope you enjoy my 40 diamonds. Oh, speaking of Boss, there he is right there. Now, I've also heard that the Dragon King has been up to a few things, because last time when I say we, I don't know who did this, but someone removed his skull after we built our shop. And if I'm right in saying, all shops were given a little message. Let's see, I'm just going to pop into my shop here. Ah, here it is. Okay. Attacks. Let's go somewhere safe. Okay, let's give this a read. Dearest shop owners, some of you may have noticed that recently a horrible crime has been committed, directed at the Draconic Kingdom. Of course, we can't accept any of this. Alright, yeah, obviously, you know, that's bad. As of today, a shop tax has been raised. All shop owners or shared shop owners who have not yet pledged allegiance to the Draconic Kingdom are to pay a 3 diamond weekly tax. I'm not a fan of that, until the Dragon Head on Mount Behemoth has returned. Yours truly, the Dragon King. Well, since you're not a king of mine, I don't think I'm going to be paying that tax, so let's go ahead and remove this from our shops. So after all that shopping district stuff, I decided to come back to the Super Junkyard to monitor the items coming through the item transportation system. And I've noticed a few things that are quite peculiar. So there's some instances where items are coming through the system, especially the, the crop farm items. There's been instances where they haven't been getting picked up by the hopper fillers. Or the item fillers, I should say. It's when we get big chunks like this, so they're all coming through the system and they're running along. And since hoppers have a cooldown, this means that not all items will be getting picked up. So I do think we will have to expand certain fillers sooner rather than later. One thing I've also noticed is the sheer quantity of items we have running through the system can be considered to be quite laggy. So what we might want to do is set up an overflow of a lava source to destroy excess items. But for now, we won't be doing that, we'll just be keeping an eye on it. Another thing I have been planning is the farms for these central sections here. Basically, we've got a lot of space here, and I want to fill it to the brim with farms. But I don't want to put little farms in these sections. These sections will be used for the larger farm variants. So we've got the likes of a kelp farm, maybe bamboo, sugarcane, melon, pumpkin. That's a few different farm types we can do. We can also do like a shulker farm or something down here, which I'd rather not because I want some extra space for that. Also, another thing we've got to contend with is, since these villagers and these crop farms down here, it means that this platform, or these platforms, basically act as iron farms, which, you know, is fine, but we're going to be building an iron farm later on, so we should probably see if we can find a way to stop these guys from spawning by filling up the space. But yeah, a few extra things we need to tidy up here is I've already went ahead and blocked off the holes next to the farms. We need to remove this chest because it's in the way and take these slime balls up to the storage system. We need to remove the beacon and all those chests, they need to go. Alright, so we got those floating chests and stuff all cleared away, and we're going to let those items despawn down at the bottom of the super chunk. Now I've realised something after building all of this, something that we have neglected to include. A spot to AFK. The idea of this area is it's meant to be perfectly safe, which currently it is. There is a chance of phantoms getting in these doors right now because we haven't actually built the surface yet, but we're going to ignore that. But we need one central location to AFK where we're at the perfect range for all of our farms, and this outer ring won't work, so we need a spot in the centre here. So for the final time this episode, let's jump in to a third person time lapse and get this AFK spot constructed. So there we have it, we now have an AFK spot in the perfect position. So in the future, any farm we built will be determined by where we AFK, which in this case will be right here. And not only that, this allows for fast travel to each of the cardinal directions. I can't remember if I pointed this out or not, but I've got these letters on each of the walls representing each direction because I normally walk about with my F3 screen open, just so I know what direction I'm facing, because sometimes that's important. But now we don't need to worry about that all that much. So, before we wrap up quickly, I'd like to announce that next time we're going to be working on this a little bit more, and I've got some very special content coming back to the channel very soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, why don't you leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. And hey, why don't you check out this video?